Sometimes I wonder when everything started moving at this pace. There wasn't a moment, not that I can remember, when the world collectively agreed to hit the fast forward button. It just happened, quietly and gradually, like a background update that installed overnight while we were just sleeping. One morning, you wake up, check your phone, and realize everyone expects you to respond instantly, decide instantly, adapt instantly, and you're still trying to remember what day it is. It's strange because when you walk through Azeroth like this, the world feels slow, but in the best way possible. Boars still stroll in circles, merchants still stand in the same spot they've stood for almost 20 years now. Time here hasn't been rushed or stretched or twisted. It just is. But outside the game, everything feels like it's accelerating. Workloads, expectations, technology, the cost of simply being alive. And here's the odd thing: speed feels exciting at first, but then it becomes overwhelming and suffocating. Most of us never said we wanted to live on fast forward. We just got swept into it. Like we were standing next to a flight path and suddenly our character auto-mounted without asking. It's easy to feel like you're the problem, like you're too slow, like everyone else is keeping up just fine while you're struggling to hold onto the reins. But the truth is, humans were never designed for this pace. Our brains evolved for environments where the fastest thing was a running animal. Now, the fastest thing is everything: news, trends, opinions, markets, rumors, jobs changing overnight, technology rewriting itself every time you blink. We live in a world that demands real-time adaptation, and we pretend that that's normal. But your nervous system knows it isn't. That creeping tension that you feel, that little pressure behind your ribs, that sense that you're always behind, even when you're all caught up. That's your biology tapping the brakes while the world slams on the accelerator. Speed changes how you think about yourself. You start measuring your days by productivity, your worth by output, your time by what did I accomplish. And the faster the world moves, the more guilty you feel whenever you slow down. It's funny how WoW helps you notice this. When your character rides across the zone, the world doesn't accuse you of wasting time. It doesn't ask why you're not being productive. It doesn't remind you of deadlines or bills. You just ride, you look around, and you breathe. Real life doesn't leave space for that anymore. Even rest has become something we optimize. Meditation apps, sleep trackers, productivity hacks, as if the only acceptable kind of rest is the kind that makes you more efficient later. But rest shouldn't need justification. Slowness shouldn't need permission. You're allowed to have a pace that isn't synced to the chaos around you. The problem with the world moving this fast is that meaning doesn't keep up. Moments don't land. Conversations don't settle. Thoughts don't get enough time to form before the next thing pulls your attention like an aggroed mob. And when everything moves too quickly, nothing feels anchored. Not your plans, not your expectations, not even your identity sometimes. That's the quiet cost of speed that no one talks about. You lose the sense of where you actually are. You start living on reflex instead of intention. But intention takes time. Attention takes time. Being human takes time. And the world simply doesn't offer much of that anymore. That's why a 20-minute walk in WoW feels like medicine. The world here has the decency to let you exist without pulling at you. This pace, this gentle drift, reminds you what your mind sounds like when it isn't drowning. You start noticing small details again. The rhythm of hooves, the way shadows stretch across the grass, the simple joy of moving at a pace that doesn't demand anything from you. And maybe that's why we feel so overwhelmed today, because most of us haven't moved at our own pace in years. We're constantly adjusting to someone else's urgency, someone else's schedule, someone else's expectations. But you're not a machine. You're not meant to run at maximum all the time. You're not built to update every time the world does. You are a person, and people need room to slow down sometimes. This channel exists for that reason, a place where the world settles down, where gameplay doesn't rush you, where thoughts can stretch their legs instead of sprinting. If you felt like life is sprinting away from you, like no matter how fast you move, it's never quite fast enough, you're not failing. You're experiencing something unnatural. The world changed its speed. We didn't. And that's okay. Walk with me for a while. Let's slow the world back down. Not perfectly, not permanently. Just enough to breathe again. Step by step, at a pace that actually feels human.